masih kepada saudari Xiao Tao, pengacara majlis pagi ini, petang ini, tengah hari ini. Very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for attending the press conference for the launch of the Langkah Sheraton NFT project this afternoon. Today is a special day. It's a special day not just because we are launching the Langkah Sheraton NFT. Today is a special day because it's also my 50th birthday. 5 decades.
Getting old.
Getting old. Catching up to Sarah Limpit Siang. So normally during birthdays you are supposed to receive presents. But I think there's nothing more satisfying or gratifying when celebrating the special occasion if you contribute towards a cause, a just and most worthy cause. So contributing, I think, is the best present one can give oneself. Now, for those who remember about a year back in February, March 2021, this gallery, this Theatre Impian, was launched with 80 artists contributing or providing 100 artworks to celebrate and honor Saudara Lim Kit Siang's 80th birthday. That was in February, March 2021. As part of the project, I contributed one piece, and that piece was titled Langkah Sheraton, which is the painting you see behind us at the moment. And it has been on display here for the past year or so. It is the only painting in the exhibition that actually didn't belong to Theatre Impian. A big thank you to the director of Theatre Impian, Dato' KY Chan over there, for Dato' Sri KY Chan over there, for letting me keep the painting, because now I can officially gift the painting to the party, DAP, for DAP to then be able to sell the painting and raise funds, much needed funds, for the upcoming general elections. Now, raising funds is always a very challenging and difficult thing, especially for an opposition party. If you read some of the recent social media posts that we put up, raising funds, whether it's fundraising dinner or fundraising projects, you will always receive some mocking remarks, people making fun remarks about DAP always trying to raise money. What type of party is this always trying to raise money? But we need to raise money because we need to fight elections, and unlike those mocking us, who are more than likely from the traditional ruling parties in BN or in PN, where via abuse of power, via corruption, or via misappropriation of taxpayers' money. We know the best person who did that, former Prime Minister Najib Razak, for their own personal and political interests. DAP does not do that. We didn't do that while we were in government, and we won't definitely do that when we are in opposition. So when the public contribute to our cause, they contribute to our cause because they believe in our cause to fight for a better Malaysia, and they believe that we are doing our work without abusing our power, without misusing the rakyat's money. So coming back to the sale, it took me a while actually to figure out what is the best way to monetize the painting for the party. When it was first exhibited here, I think the technology wasn't really widespread then, but subsequent research on non-fungible tokens, NFTs, allowed me to come up with an idea on how best to perhaps monetize the painting. The traditional way would be perhaps to go to an auction, go to a fundraising dinner, do an auction, ask someone, some big tauke to sponsor, and perhaps they will sponsor a few 100,000, and then the painting gets kept in the storeroom. Not very meaningful. Or perhaps, in other countries, some museums may have purchased it. But in Malaysia, all your museums will never purchase a controversial piece like this, unfortunately. So via NFTs, and not just a simple way, that means just attach one NFT, auction the NFT, which is what many other people are doing. We are now setting up 8,888 NFTs for minting by the public, where each NFT represents a share or a portion of the painting. So you are all co-owning the painting. It is extremely meaningful for me, and I think for this painting in particular, because then the painting Langkah Sheraton, which is a historic event that affected all of us in Malaysia, is now shared by all or thousands of Malaysians. I think that, to me, as an artist myself, is probably the best way for the painting to be monetized, and the money going towards no better cause than helping DAP win the next general elections. On the launch of the NFTs, there are 3 phases. The phase 1, which starts from today, is to seek cornerstone participants. Cornerstone participants means the bigger buyers, people who will buy more NFTs, so that we can secure the initial funding. The second phase of the NFTs is to get the public who are very interested to get whitelisted. Getting whitelisted means you get to take part in the pre-launch of the sale. The pre-launch of the sale will give you preferential pricing on the NFTs, and to join the pre-launch or to qualify for the whitelist, you need to join our Discord server. So go to discord.com and join Langkah Sheraton. And the third one would be the public launch. So the public launch will take place on 31st August in conjunction with our National Day. And we expect the entire project to close by the time we reach 16th of September, which is the Malaysia Day. So it is a very significant period that we have chosen to launch this project. It is a very significant event, Langkah Sheraton, that marked the collapse of Pakatan Harapan government and the need for Malaysians to come together again to create another 2018, so that Langkah Sheraton will be put into record books as something of a footnote, and so that we can create a new Pakatan Harapan government going forward. So the details of the Langkah Sheraton project will be made available on the Langkah Sheraton website, langkahsheraton.com. So very easy, go to langkahsheraton.com. All the details are inside. For the media here today, this information is also available in the leaflet in your hands today. So, anything else that I missed out? Okay, so finally, the painting will remain exhibited here. So for those who want to see the painting, before you actually decide on whether you want to buy a share of it, you're welcome to visit Theatre Impian. You can find out about Theatre Impian's opening hours at the Theatre Impian Facebook. Just go to Facebook and you will get the details there. Come visit. It will remain exhibited here. And after 1 year, the new owners of the painting, which are the NFT holders, can then decide where they want to exhibit the painting. They can continue exhibiting it here, or they can choose a different venue or location to exhibit or park or store the painting. So the owners get to decide the future of the painting. Okay, so with that, I thank you for now. We'll take questions perhaps a bit later.
Oke, baik, seterusnya mari kita belajar untuk menjemput setiausaha atau panitia Anthony Ho untuk menyampaikan ucapan.
Terima kasih. First of all, I would like to wish the 50th birthday. As usual, Tony it's not the first time that he launched a fundraising project on his birthday. I remember on his 43rd birthday, he launched a fundraising project as well, right? For Impian Sarawak. So this is a very meaningful way of celebrating one's birthday. So perhaps other leaders, whoever wants to celebrate a meaningful birthday, can follow the footsteps of Saudara Tony Puah by doing a fundraising project for the DAP. I would like, on behalf of the DAP, I would like to thank Saudara Tony Puah for giving his masterpiece to the party for this fundraising project. Langkah Sheraton is a black mark in our history, and I think the launching of this Langkah Sheraton NFT project today on the 1st of August is very meaningful, especially after the passing of the anti-hopping law by amending the Federal Constitution just last Thursday in Dewan Rakyat. So we hope that this will be a new beginning for Malaysia's democracy, and Langkah Sheraton will forever be a lesson for all Malaysians that we must strive for better governance, for better democracy, and we need better people in politics. Of course, we can amend our law, we can amend our constitution to have better protection. Of course, through this law, we hope that we can outlaw hopping. But anyway, I think the most important thing to advance our democracy is to have politicians with better integrity. And that is something that the Malaysian public, the Malaysian voters, will have a big responsibility. Make sure that we vote in, we select people with good integrity, with good intention in politics. We join politics is to make sure that we can contribute to the country and make this country a better place for all Malaysians. It's not for self-interest. It's not, politicians is not up for sales. And this is something that I think this piece of artwork have captured the essence of Langkah Sheraton, the key players, the key actors in Langkah Sheraton. And of course, not all in this artwork are bad people. You have Inkisiam inside, you have Mak Sabu, Lim Guan Lim, Anwar Ibrahim, Tun Speaker as well, who are in this piece of artwork as well. So this is to show the contrast and to be a lesson for future generations that every single character in this piece of artwork, there is a history, there is a lesson, and we hope that this will be a lesson for all. So, in summary, I just want to thank Saudara Tony Puah for giving a boost to our election campaign. As we know, the upcoming election is a very tough battle for Pakatan Harapan, especially for the DAP. And even for fundraising effort, it is not easy. It is very tough. Unlike past elections, unlike in the last general election, where 1 or 2 years before the last general election, we have many fundraising activities, we have many fundraising dinners. Unlike those years, right now, of course, we have just opened up. We have started our fundraising dinners throughout the country. But of course, this is nothing compared to what we have gone through in the last election. So this fundraising project, I think, is a big boost for our election campaign. And I thank Saudara Tony for taking this initiative. This is something that entirely his own idea and his own initiative. He has never really discussed with the party leadership, but of course, as usual, any good initiative, anyone who wants to contribute to the party, we welcome it. We do not need any endorsement from the party leadership to launch any fundraising project. So this is something that he has done it through his own initiative, and I think this is the most meaningful way, where it's not only about fundraising, but I think having a share in this piece of artwork, I think is something very meaningful. And the good thing is that this piece of artwork will continue to be exhibited here, and it will not be kept in any storeroom. It will continue to be in this theatre in Pian. And this project is something that we want to encourage more Malaysians to come to have a look. And definitely this is something that we are looking forward for more Malaysians to come and visit this gallery. So with that, thank you very much, and I hope this fundraising project will be a success. Thank you.
This is a very DAP issue. Because the DAP has always been the forefront of change. We were a very young party when we started 56 years ago. When internet was introduced, we were the first party to go on the internet. And now we have the blockchain technology and NFT. And we are in the very forefront in a very innovative way. But all this is in pursuit of the Malaysian Dream, to create a more just and equal, united Malaysian society. This Tony's birthday is very significant. And this is our way of saying happy birthday to him. The Sheraton move must always be remembered by Malaysians because it interrupted Malaysians' aspiration for change, for a better Malaysia. There are a lot of myth makers nowadays describing the Pakatan Harapan government as a total failure. Seeing the 22-month Pakatan Harapan government in black and white terms, and of course, painting Pakatan Harapan government in the blackest of terms. This is completely incorrect because the Sheraton move stole the mandate of the people. And it is important that the people must remember that the Sheraton move so that they can summon and rediscover the hope and the challenge to bring about change. So the Sheraton movement is important. For instance, the Prime Minister said yesterday at the Selangor BN convention that Malaysia has to be saved, justifying the Sheraton move conspiracy, that Malaysia had to be saved because in the cabinet there was DAP dominance. There are, of course, other versions which are more extreme, that the DAP was anti-Malay. But the DAP did not dominate the cabinet. we had 6 ministers out of 28 ministers. How can 6 ministers dominate a cabinet, a 28-member cabinet led by Dr. Mahathir Mohamad? I was not in the cabinet, and I never made any attempt to influence Dr. Mahathir who should be in the cabinet, what post he should hold. This is the first time I'm saying it, and I won't go on the record. I've never spoken to Mahathir as to who should be in the cabinet, what post he should be held, or high positions. There are those who say that I suggested to Dr. Mahathir who should hold office. It is completely untrue. And that's why I wanted Dr. Mahathir a free hand based on our manifesto. The manifesto must be the basis of the Pakatan Harapan government. I did see Dr. Mahathir in mid-2019 to ensure that the manifesto, the Pakatan Harapan manifesto, is adhered to. And I put to Dr. Mahathir that it is important to follow the Pakatan Harapan manifesto, and if there are any election pledges which the Pakatan Harapan government cannot fulfill, it must go public and explain, and I'm sure the public will understand. I have wanted to see the Prime Minister again after the midterm, whether it be Dr. Mahathir or Anwar Ibrahim, but Sheraton move interrupted the process. So I think it's important that we have a clear picture of what is Sheraton move. There are simpletons, and I want to emphasize the word simpletons, who say that the Pakatan Harapan cabinet had failed to fulfill its promise. The Pakatan Harapan government had 5 years mandate. It started slowly because it takes time. It is a democratic process. It takes time to convince people about change. If the cabinet had been slow in the first half term in implementing its election pledges, it can speed up at the second half term. So these simpletons said they are very angry. The Pakatan Harapan failed to deliver its promises, and these are all wrong. So these are all the misrepresentations, demonization that is going on, and I think this special project is an occasion for the clear, true picture of Sheraton move, of the Pakatan Harapan government to get across. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Tuan Encik. Majlis seterusnya membuka kepada sesi soalan daripada kawan-kawan media.
Hello, my name is Mark from Distro Awani, and I have 2 questions for Anthony. So we realize that the setting of an entity today is to create funding for the upcoming elections. So in regards to the PM trying to continue on the Political Funding Act, so we want to know the status of the negotiations between the oppositions and government during the negotiations for the Political Funding Act. And my second question is that we know that recently there will be no signing of MOU between Pakatan Harapan and the government as well. So we would like to know your comments and thoughts about it. Thank you so much.
First of all, there is no negotiation on the Political Funding Act as yet. The DAP has never opposed the attempt to legislate political funding. But of course, as just any other laws, we we want to be consulted. We want to have a discussion on how to legislate such a law. So we are open to negotiation with the government to legislate political funding. But that has yet to be done. I think we welcome the attempt of the ministers involved to reach out to us, and we are prepared to negotiate, and we are prepared to support such a law. On the MOU, as mentioned time and again, actually today is not, or yesterday is not the last day of the MOU. 31st of July is just a date committed by the Prime Minister not to dissolve Parliament before 31st of July 2022. But it does not mean that Parliament can be dissolved immediately today. And the MOU still continues. The MOU, as far as the MOU is concerned, the term of the MOU will continue until the day Parliament is dissolved. But from now to Parliament, the dissolution of Parliament, we do not know how long it will be. We can continue to work on the terms of the MOU. And if the Prime Minister, as he has mentioned, have any more reform agenda to be brought to Parliament, we are prepared to support it, even without the signing of MOU. Because what we want is to support reform. And if the Prime Minister is daring enough, he has courageous enough to bring reform and to legislate more laws, including political financing, we are prepared to support it, even without the signing of MOU 2.0. But as I mentioned earlier, MOU is still in force.
Ada lagi soalan?
Komen tentang lantikan Tengku Zafrul sebagai Bendahari BN Selangor.
Good luck to Tengku Zafrul. Tak ada komen. Itu terpulang lah, itu hak masing-masing. Tapi saya sebelum ini saya ingat Tengku Zafrul ni pro boy kepada Tan Sri Muhyiddin. Jadi saya terkejut juga dia memilih UMNO.
Ada lagi soalan?
Okay.
Okey, kita dah ada soalan.
Ada.
Hello. After then,
The TMD will next plan for election. You creative for that plan for election. Plan for election.
要用中文问这样啊？
TMD 接下来有什么计划应对大选吗？ Okay, soalan ini berkenaan dengan plan ataupun rancangan DAP untuk menghadapi pilihan raya. Apa yang kita buat hari ini juga sebahagian daripada perancangan untuk pilihan raya. Sebab fundraising is part and parcel of election preparation. Sebab paling penting kita perlu ada dana untuk menghadapi pilihan raya, untuk menghadapi kempen. Seperti yang saya katakan dulu, DAP kita menggunakan kekuatan daripada rakyat, daripada masa untuk mendapatkan dana pilihan raya. Kita secara kebiasaannya kita mengadakan majlis-majlis makan malam untuk mengumpul dana, dan juga sekarang ini ada cara yang lebih baru, yang lebih dinamik, menggunakan NFT project untuk raise fund. Ini sebahagian daripada perancangan kita menghadapi pilihan raya. Persediaan lain kita sudah tentu kita sudah mula untuk kita berunding kerusi dengan rakan-rakan komponen, merangka kita punya tawaran ataupun manifesto, dan juga bagaimana kita nak memastikan bahawa kita ada koordinasi dari segi kempen. Itu semua sedang dilaksanakan dan sedang diperbincangkan di peringkat Pakatan Harapan.
How much funds is DAB expected to collect through the launching of NFTs?
For this project, we expect to collect at least 1 million ringgit from the project. I will just add that this is probably the first time such a project is launched in Malaysia and perhaps in this entire region. We have had political parties or politicians launching NFT projects to raise some funds, but they are entirely digital. So for those who understand NFT, NFT is basically a digital art encrypted in blockchain, and they sell that digital art itself. So just that the whatever anyone purchase of the NFT, you get the digital art. In our case, it's unique because we are not only offering NFT as a digital art, we are offering NFT by leveraging on the NFT technology to allow members of the public to co-own one particular asset. In this case, a physical Langkah Sheraton painting. So it is a unique attempt to make use of technology to allow public ownership of a particular item. It is new, and I think it gives real value to anyone who acquires this NFT, because digital art, the value is, you don't know what value it is. It sort of rides on a piece of air. Whereas in this case, not only you get a unique digital NFT, you also get ownership of a physical art, and if this painting appreciates in value, I hope so. I don't give any guarantees for that, but I do hope painting value goes up. I also know that if artists pass away, painting value definitely goes up. Then the owners of this NFT will benefit from my passing as well.
Another 50 years.
So last preach. Like I said, if this painting were to sell out, we should raise more than 1 million ringgit. We hope for the public to participate and find out more information from langkahsheraton.com. Thank you. Oh, ada lagi.
Is PH considering Muda as one of the airline, or Muda is going to join, because Muda recently joined the Jelanja, something that has to do with PH. So Muda is joining PH or just an airline?
Well, the question has to be asked to Muda leadership whether they are joining PH. As far as we are concerned, we consider Muda as an airline. We have worked together in Parliament. We have always consulted Muda, especially Sadi, to take a common stand in Parliament. And there are rooms for us to cooperate, as have shown in the Johor state election. There are rooms for us to negotiate, there are rooms for us to work together. But whether or not they will join Pakatan Harapan as a coalition partner, that is up to Muda to decide.
Okay. Okay, NFT ni satu painting. So the NFT 8,888 NFT bermaksud mereka boleh kira macam saham lah kepada painting. Okay, so 8,888 shares to the painting, satu painting. Okay, tapi 8,888 NFT. Sample NFT ada dalam brochure
The value of
website.
each NFT is the same.
The value of each NFT is sold the same. But the NFTs can then be traded in OpenSea, the marketplace.
How much is
So each of these NFT, when traded, after you mint from us, the same 45 Matic, for example, 45 Matic is a cryptocurrency. You nak jual 100 Matic, you nak jual 120 Matic, is up to you. And if some people like that particular NFT, mungkin dia tawar dengan harga yang lebih tinggi. Mungkin. So the offer price is 45 Matic. Lepas tu sesiapa boleh yang memiliki NFT tu boleh menawarkan NFT tu untuk dijual di platform marketplace terbuka. Okay.
Just to add one word. The idea is co-ownership of this painting, and it represents the co-ownership of 33 3 million Malaysians of Malaysia. It's a pursuit of the Malaysian dream that we are all co-owners of this land. And for that, they offer a co-ownership of tourist painting.
Thank you. So, ambil gambar.